Detention. That one word that makes everyone go, oh crud. Some people say that detention is a very useful thing to help kids get taught their lesson. Well, I don't see it like that. Neither do my parents. They don't get it either. Because do you really think kids are going to be taught a lesson by sitting in a room for an hour or so? Yeah, you'd think that. I understand how it might kind of work if a kid did something bad, like beat up a kid or hurt him, but it doesn't really make sense if you got sent to detention and all you did was forget to bring in your homework or 3 minutes late to class. Rak, you're just complaining. Then you're obviously used to it. I'm going to tell you about times that I got into detention, and for the stupidest reasons. So this first story was from last year at my old school. A week before this, I had to go to Australia with my mum and dad so we could find a house to get. This is before we moved back to Australia. And I came back on a Wednesday. Now, my school had these things called maths mates, which were like 23 math problems, and you had to figure out the answer. And on Tuesdays, the teacher would tell us the answers, and we would mark them on a marking sheet. But he also gave us the next sheet on Tuesdays as well. So, I missed out. A week later, Tuesday came, I had nothing to mark, and neither did my friend Duncan. He was in New Zealand for a few weeks, I think. The teacher asked us, why don't you have your maths mate? Duncan told him that he was away and he didn't get one, and I said, me too, I was away as well. I could have explained that easier, but whatever. Lunch came around, I looked in the detention list, because I was curious, and boom, what do you know, I'm on there. Just for not having a maths mate. Turns out that I was supposed to ask the teacher, who I'll call Mr. Ronaldo, he looks like a soccer player, for one, but I never recalled him saying that. I got back home and I told Dad about it and he said, oh, that's just stupid. Not immediate, the reason why I got into detention. He was like, you got into detention just for that? That is ridiculous. Mum said the same thing. Like I said, they don't really see the point in detentions like me. So the next day, I had my detention because we only had on Monday, Wednesday and Friday. But a few weeks later, my friend Jake got into detention and he told me they got to draw and stuff. I was making a comic then, so that would have been useful before I got detention. But to be fair, I did finish my music homework in detention, so it was kind of worth it. But the end of the year rolled around, and I forgot to do notes for my maths mate. That's because I thought it was Monday, but it was Tuesday, so I didn't realise we were marking that day, and boom! After school detention for me. But at the end of the day on Wednesday, I still wasn't sure, so I went to Mr. Ronaldo's office at the end of the day and asked him, do I still have 9th period detention? 9th period meaning after school detention. There are 8 periods in one school day. And guess what he said? Hey, you stupid little forgetful child. Okay, he didn't actually say that. He actually said, nope. What? He said something about me only forgetting my homework once, so it doesn't really matter, I think. But wait. I didn't get detention for forgetting part of my homework, but I did for not remembering to ask for one since I didn't receive one. Nope, can't continue, I'm out. Ridiculousness levels exceeded. I'd just like to mention that I got a new Wacom into. You know what? I'm back. I still have a video to make, duh. But seriously though, if you see the problem, then that's fine. But still. But I'm much happier at that school than that school before that. In kindergarten or first grade, I had this teacher, who I shall name Mrs. Hammerhead, who my parents didn't really like that much. Once during an assembly, Mrs. Hammerhead called in my parents to discuss something. Remember, I was only like 5 or 6 at the time of this. My teacher told my parents that I did something horrible. And that something was... write something like poop in my spelling test. Sure, it sounds bad, but it really is harmless when you think about it, because it turns out I got all the words correct, but the teacher kept saying, but that's not the point. And Mum was basically thinking, you brought us in just for that? Mrs. Hammerhead could have brought them in for anything worse than that, but nope. Just that. Forget the positive side about your son being good at spelling, and remember there's a negative everywhere. The world ain't cupcakes and rainbows here. Okay, I got a bit carried away. But whatevs. But anyway, it's time I tell you the dumbest reason that I ever got in detention for. I got detention for not finishing eating an apple. Not finishing eating an apple? What? Okay, so let me explain. I didn't eat much of my apple, so I went to throw it out. But the principal, also the 5th and 6th grade teacher, it was a really small school in a really small town. It was so small that I got the first gold award out of everybody in school once. She stopped me and she said, why isn't your apple finished? go to detention. I'm pretty sure that she hadn't put anyone in detention in a while, so she had to look for something partly bad. That's just my opinion. Public schools are weird. Like, for example, Mum and Dad were at a school market, not my school, and you know those big signs they have at schools where you put words on them? Well, the sign said, 96% of our students are on excellent behaviour. Did they really have to say 96% so specifically? Come on, imagine what a kid in the 4% would think if he saw that sign. He would be pretty bummed out, I can imagine. I wonder who wrote that sign. Oh, I don't know, Mrs. Hammerhead? Just before I end the video though, let me mention a time that I was on the verge of getting detention for. It was last year at my old school. We were making this project for art class. I'll call our art teacher Mrs. Da Vinci because she was the art teacher and she was French, even though Da Vinci's Italian. And the art project was a papier-mâché shoe, and it had to be in the style of a country. I chose Russia. We had to do some research about the country first, and we had to hand it in on Friday. Thursday night, and I've done nothing. And I'm freaking out. I was pretty sure I'd get detention for not doing any research, but luckily, on Friday I was sick. Then when I got a day off school and 3 days to work on a project. Woohoo! I finished working on it on Sunday, but on Monday she didn't even ask for it. So, I was safe. My shoe's like a red, white, and blue castle. I could even wear it. But yeah, that's it for today's video about detention. And to top it all off, I don't see the point in detention because it's not really teaching anyone a lesson here, don't you think? I'd just like to mention that I got a new Wacom into a straw tablet, and I'm now using Fire Alpaca to draw my pictures, so that's pretty cool. Also, it's quite cool that I already got 60 views on my last video, which is pretty dang awesome. But yeah, whatevs. So yeah, thanks for watching guys. If you want to send me fan art, then my Twitter handle is right down there. Anyway, please leave a like if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you want more animations. See you later, goodbye.